Ash sketch.
But I feel like I liked my performance more in that one than like the other one. I think because I was just playing a random character.
Yeah, I realized the other day that we're kind of, we hit a niche that I think is unique in terms of the way we do the comedy, because like, whitest kids, you know, makes or whatever, they're playing sketches all the time. They're always new characters, every new sketch, they're never playing themselves. Character centered comedy, it usually has some sort of canon to it, some sort of continuity, and it's like stories and shit like that. We're like crossing the streams, so it's like we're always us, but it also has no logic to it.
Yeah.
It's like I guess the like actual thing is it's even similar to Aqua Twins.
Yeah.
Just Shake and Meatwad and Rylon are all
Although
the same.
they had more character consistency. I mean, Shake's always a douchebag. Rylon's always like a straight man. Meatwad's always.
I mean, we're kind of consistent.
If you like comparing like the Ico episode to like the Fear Free one, she's like not even a character.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about that. I honestly don't like a lot of season 4.
No, a lot of season 1 is ass.
A lot of season 1 is bad.
There's always where we talk to people like, oh, I love the Team vs. 2 episode. I'm like, that's cool because I don't.
Also, like, really complicated.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, I guess it's good that, like, it feels like I like with just scrolling through these, like, we definitely seem to have progressed in quality, I hope. Like, season 4, I feel like has been pretty good, you know? Like, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've given up trying to judge whether or not we do as good anymore.
All I know that season 1 or 2 are kind of and 3 got better, I think. But probably my least favorite is either, honestly, Team Fortress 2 or maybe, oh no, I love video games. So that's Verdict.
Okay.
Erase it.
Why?
Because when I sang it like without reference, and I sang it off key and weird, and awful, and just but the premise is kind of fun, I guess. What about you?
Probably not a rhythm kind of episode, because that was just us being like, oh, we need an episode. Manny make music. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Rhythm Heaven. What's your favorite one though? Which one is your favorite one?
Okay. What are your guys' least favorite episodes?
That's a great question.
I like Puzzle Quest.
I said least favorite.
Oh.
I want positivity. It's the end of a con. I just want negativity and
It's Sunday.
the end of things. That's probably true.
Ikaruga.
You know, we hated that one.
Yeah.
At the time, that was my fault. I thought it would be funny at the time, and the way it all came together, I was like, oh, this is just awful, and goes on for an hour. Yeah. I just had a really dark and not very progressive sense of humor for a long time, because I wrote for a website called Double Viking, and I was just like encouraged to be like. I was encouraged to be, and how much of it was just me being me, but I was much more misogynist and dark and cynical than I am now. And I only just recently decided, like, hey, inclusivity is kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like, progress definitely in that regard.
Yeah, we become less shitty human beings.
Yeah, we have. Markedly become less shitty, hopefully. Yeah, that was like a weird time. It's like the first and second season of Hop is just like a dark.
That might actually be even later. It might be third season.
I don't think it's third. I think it's in the first second.
Okay.
I hope. I fucking hope so. I mean, we just like started. We're like, oh, maybe we should not be assholes in like the last week.
And now.
Yeah, but yeah, that one's ass. And
Here's more one is ass because it sounds like you're just making fun of gay people.
Yeah.
There's a couple like that.
But we try to pay attention to that a lot more going forward. Yeah. It's so hard. We're not that interesting. Spoilers. So I had like 7 panels, and if you went to the one this morning, we were like, "You guys."
Oh, we were tired because we just woke up and we were like, so it's gone.
Party rock.
Shout
2019. Get cross rock out.
Yeah, we're not actually tremendously interesting as human beings, and we can't fill an hour talking about ourselves, much as 4. So if you have any questions,
Go for it.
please go for it.
Sweet.
How many cookies did you go through for $50?
Oh God.
Not too bad, so
So many. So many.
Did you hate cookies after that?
I hated it. Well, actually, I love cookies way too much for that to happen. But like, they were because like that was the first I think food episode that we did. And I was like, oh, this is whatever. Just eat cookies. This is the best. This is the best thing ever.
Yeah, you hadn't done a lot of on-camera acting, so you don't understand how that multiple takes works.
Yeah. So by like the third take, I was like, this is the worst. I don't want to try anymore. Please,
But
please.
you generally weren't eating them. That wasn't actually the thing I was getting to. You weren't getting like full. It was she would like chew them and then just sort of spit them out, and it was just grossing her out after doing it enough times. And her entire mouth would just be full. And we just had this big plastic bowl that was just like, okay, go.
Yeah, we had a cookie spit bowl.
And I just
It's
put it in the bowl,
terrible.
and then I just didn't look at the bowl and just toss it out.
And now I realize just like every time I write an episode, I do something like that. Like the least horrible one was that I just, like that we did recently, was that I just poured a shit ton of water on myself because I don't know how to drink water. And that was the most pleasant one that I've ever done to myself. All
I
the
remember
other
when you
ones-
did the Reese's Pieces, I just upended the entire bag on your lap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. I even fucking
Yeah, we're just like, okay, well, now let's take 30 minutes getting all the Reese's Pieces out of this chair. Great. Cool.
Yeah, apple juice, chocolate
And you just like,
syrup.
and I was like, well, at least we have the Reese's Pieces left back in the bag, and you were just like spitting the ones in your mouth back, and I was like, well, God damn it! Now I have nothing.
Yeah.
You had a question.
I thought you were going to say something about wrestling.
Yeah,
That's not the crowd.
with wrestling. With a nice corpse.
Westeros. You know, my guess is that it's not even going to be about that soon. I haven't read the books, so no one will for me. But like the White Walkers being introduced, I feel like that's going to become
At
the
some
second.
point, they'll be
But
dealt with. And there's going to still be people we're trying to get.
I like. Well, you-
I want Jon Snow with Tyrion on his shoulders to be like Master Blaster in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, for them to together rule Westeros.
Or Hodor.
Or yeah, Hodor with Tyrion on top of him.
Yeah.
What do you think, Hodor? Hodor. All right, you get to live. That or Khaleesi would not be a bad.
I like Daenerys. Yeah. Well, do I like Daenerys? The trajectory of it.
Yeah, I could see her getting real dark and bad, but all the people who have gotten a great deal of power and tried to exercise it in their ways.
You're good. He's humming. He's fine.
We haven't even said anything specific. Yeah.
We won't say anything spoilery.
You're
There you
good.
go.
Okay, just in case. I haven't seen season 2.
Yeah, we didn't say anything spoiler.
I'm not going to watch it.
Or Arya would be cool, I guess.
That's part of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so busy.
Yeah.
For the Sims 3 episode you guys did, when you proposed to Blavis, was that totally by shock? Like she did not expect that?
No, I'd already proposed her by that time.
Okay.
I get that question a lot, and it's surprising. I should tell Davis because it'll make her feel good that she's a good actress. Because a couple of people thought that I actually proposed her for real then, but no, it was. Well, I proposed her about months before or something like that. She already knew we were getting our marriage on. But I'm really happy with that episode too.
Yeah, the one that was the first one that Justin did.
Yeah, it was really quick, and the Drew Mary, we over the Drew Mary got a lot of.
Cool.
The one where you jumped on a bunch of cupcakes? How messy was that?
I guess that wasn't as terrible as it could have been.
Yeah, because there was so many ways to shoot your butt coming down the cupcake. So after the first and second, we're like, okay, cool, done. We don't need to do any more takes.
Yeah.
You squish the cupcake with your butt, hooray.
Forgot about that.
Actually, you know what? That's not true. Because sometimes you would come up and your butt would be like, it's like knock the thing over, and you're like, God damn it. And write it. Oh, yay. The most unpleasant feeling when you're like, yay, that's what was supposed to happen.
Actually, the worst cupcake-related incident we had was the Dark Knight episode. Although I think we probably put that. Did we put that in the episode that Greg just like smacked his head?
Yeah.
Yes. Greg goes way too full bore. I don't know if you guys know, but the Final Fight episode, he did actually get a bloody nose from screaming.
Oh, geez.
But that wasn't a practical effect. He literally just like, and it's crazy to look because that episode would not work unless
Yeah,
Greg
the
had
episode doesn't actually have a
nosebleed.
joke
It
unless
doesn't
somebody
have a
gets a bloody
joke.
nose.
It just went on for a really long time with Greg getting a bloody nose. It's like only thing that saved that
Yeah, because
episode.
you did the thing where you put all the blood in the front of your face as you screamed this, was shaking and stuff like that, and then right before I said, okay, actually, guys, goes, hold up, I got a bloody nose. I was like, oh, so we should stop. He goes, no, give me a second. And we went action, and he goes, and the blood just started coming out for real. I went, oh god, no. And you can see that the camera goes out of focus a little bit, so I'm like, I don't know.
It is funny to see how shitty, I'm sorry, how shitty the camera stuff is in the first place. Because I'm just remembering that it is, you're right, it's piss color. It's like piss
It's
color.
all piss color because I didn't know where the white balance button was. It's out of focus generally. I'm basically using it at the same level of quality that a dad would when he's like filming his kids opening Christmas presents.
I was worse though, and I remember in the rock band episode, it's one of the few ones where I dolled up, and someone in the comments was analyzing it as if it was a college paper, and they were like, it's out of focus when Anthony has, when Anthony's being filmed, but it's perfectly in focus with it. And I was like, that's because I was filming the part with Anthony, and I don't know how to use the camera. But it was funny that they were finding significance in it.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't trained martial artists. So what's it like when you choreograph
How
the
do you know that?
scenes?
How dare you?
Just hazarding a guess. So what's it like when you're choreographing scenes in the Metal Gear Solid 4 episode and the big ones where you have all the fights?
It's embarrassing because our friends Yuli and Grant do all the choreography, and they're actually good. So they do a bunch of cool shit. And they're like, okay, now you do it, and we're like, and we look like assholes.
Like, okay, let's dial this back a little bit.
Yeah.
Come up with some things you can do.
Yeah.
And there'll be times where I remember this happened specifically with the dance thing, where the dance central flashback where you dance out stuff. Where Grant is a really good dancer, and he's like, okay, Anthony, I'm gonna show you how to pop a mock, and he goes does this. He's like, just do this. And then I tried to do it, and he just started laughing really hard. He's like, yeah, that works for what we're doing. I was like, so I did it well? He goes, no, you did not. It'll just be funny.
Yeah. And I felt really bad. It's happened twice now that for 2 finales where we've had fighting that Justin has edited. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, it's okay. We fucked it up, didn't we? The fighting's awful, isn't it? And he's like, it's rough. It's a little rough. It's a little rough. And I feel really bad because he has to try to make it look good. So the mediocrity that is on screen is just not even close to how bad it is without the editing involved. It's a travesty.
Yeah, the only reason the first season's finale worked at all, if it did, was because we just used Metal Gear Solid music, and it's this makes everything epic, ha ha ha!
Yeah.
But it's embarrassingly bad.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys should take the rough drafts and put clips on the internet.
No, you don't want those.
Yes, we
It's
do.
not good. It's would you like Hey Ash, but just worse? That's all that is.
Yes. Yes.
We put those on the DVDs sometimes. There are a couple of really shit-ass episodes that are, yeah.
My mind just got warm. I need to buy some DVDs now.
Oh, you didn't ever sell DVDs? Yeah. If we had our shit together, we would be selling them here.
There you go.
But we always fuck that up. So.
Did you?
I did. Was there anything that you asked Papa Birch to do that he was kind of hesitant on doing?
He doesn't have foresight, so he'll do something and then see it on the internet and be like, "Why did you guys have me do this? You didn't
It's
say
you were there, motherfucker. At what point of getting into a bikini and grabbing 2 hot dogs did you just go, something might be amiss about this? It never occurred to you.
Yeah, exactly. The Dark Souls, that joke you got.
He's like, God, I look awful. I was like, yeah.
That's a joke. And he, for some reason didn't think about it when it was happening, that it was going to be a problem. But he's never said no.
How much negative attention did you get for slam dunking a baby?
None.
None.
The negative attention comes from me looking like a terrorist and her looking like a boy, not from any of the content of our actual videos.
Yeah. Yeah, people were really pro slam dunking that baby. You're on the other side of that argument.
Yeah, there was no debate.
Yeah. Yes.
They're behind me.
Yes.
Yes.
Question.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
guy
you're
right behind
doing.
you.
I came up with 2 questions, but I'm just, is it okay to answer?
Hit it. It's good. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this shit matters. It's all good.
That's good. I know you guys did E3 episodes, but are you ever gonna do Comic-Con episodes? Do you ever?
We do E3 episodes because Game Trailers pays for us to go out there, and so it's a net gain for us. If anybody wants to pay for us to go out to Comic-Con and do episodes, I'm sure we will.
Yeah, actually the first time any of us went to Comic-Con, it was like this year I had to go for something else, but we don't really go to many. I mean, we go to PAX and we go to E3, and we used to go to MagFest, but not really anymore.
Yeah.
So we don't really go for that many cons. It's like the crew, which we should probably do.
You got a question?
Sorry, tired and deep breathing.
No,
You
we
tell
guys.
me, and then maybe, how long did it take you to be able to say Nintendo Land thing top us up?
I mean, she just come back from a semester abroad in Japan, so it's actually quasi-fluent Japanese.
Did you mean the Japanese
Not
part?
the Japanese part, the
Oh.
part of she's yelling the entire Nintendo Land idea.
Well,
I don't know. I kind of have that committed to heart because I legitimately want those things.
That's
So,
what I
Yeah, on that, how mad did you get when Nintendo Land actually came out?
I'm mostly just mad that they won't make an actual fucking theme park. That's what I'm so angry about. The
the
game
theme
is.
park in the game isn't even a theme
It's
park.
not even a
just
theme park.
It's a
It's
weird
an
mini
excuse
game
for mini
collection.
games, yeah.
That it doesn't feel like if they had just kind of like, okay, fuck it, here's a virtual theme park that looks like a theme park.
I'd be like,
Walk around and do cool things. It would be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you'd see the knees of your friends going, that would have been neat. But it's just this weird, ethereal, like, here's 4 blocks in an empty room. Yay!
yeah. It's just aggravating because that shit makes itself. I literally just like was walking around Japan with my 2 friends and we came up with everything that you could put in Nintendo Land. And then it was magic. I guess theme parks play to make that much.
I guess. I think they definitely cost a lot of money to make. I don't know if they make that much money after the fact.
Mario's like the most recognizable icon, I think, like internationally.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's more recognized than Mickey Mouse was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, does Legoland still exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a reason. How is Legoland a thing?
8 people play with Legos.
Like
total.
2 of them.
Yeah.
There's a Legoland in Florida. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it
And
seems like
Florida,
a,
California too.
yeah, there's a bunch of Legolands.
Legoland.
Legoland
Legolandy.
Eye.
Legoland.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be kind of a fucking no-brainer just doing a Nintendo one. Even a game-themed one.
Yeah, just a game people would
Like, toss in some money with Sony and Microsoft and, like, go to Kratos Land where there's nothing but tits and blood. Go to
There's the crappy
Nintendo.
ass World of Warcraft park in China.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
remember
really?
hearing about that, yeah. That doesn't count.
Fuck. It's
Yeah,
angry, right?
there's so few. I think the reason people love PAX and E3 and stuff like this is that when you, especially like for the cosplay and stuff, it's like there's so few in the world, real life, like just anything related to video games that,
Yeah.
that you can go, hey, cool.
Yeah.
So like when somebody cosplays to something, like it's always like, ah,
Yeah.
this thing that only existed in my head and on the internet is now a thing in person that I shouldn't touch but could
Yeah.
because consent.
Is there another person around you?
Yes or no?
No, you're fine. You're good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Damn it. I got this.
Yeah, so right.
When does another episode of Vegas come out?
I don't know, actually.
How did you film?
3?
Okay,
Not many. It was like a pilot, and then we forgot that it existed for many, many months. And then I think we filmed 3 after that. 1 just came out, so now we have 2 left. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I should ask Justin about that. I don't know. I actually don't even know if he has like an idea of like a schedule. It seems really arbitrary. It's like I'm gonna release a big video. But yeah, there are 2 I know that we filmed that will be coming out.
You need to get a schedule down. That was the thing that got had popular in the first place. Was schedule.
Was the consistency?
Boom, every week. Boom,
I know.
boom, boom.
Easton. I think Justin knows that too, so I'm just letting them do their thing.
Amazing that a guy making a sketch series about pot might not have the greatest commitment. Might be distracted easily.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing you guys have done just to fuck with each other?
We don't troll each other that much, actually.
No, we don't see each other enough to make trolling really worthwhile. We kind of just are nice to each other. The opposite of that, of trolling, that I will remember as like, I'm a good brother. Like the only time I remember that. Well, tell one she did, one I did. One she did was, I hate yellow and green Sour Patch Kids, but I love the other 2 flavors, red and orange. And I got this big thing of Sour Patch Kids. I was like, okay, this is family Sour Patch Kids for the week or whatever. And I came home one day and Ash had separated them into red and oranges in one bag and yellows and greens in the other bag for me. And I was like, oh, that's super sweet.
Oh, I remember doing that.
Maybe you didn't, I guess.
No, I remember vaguely now.
Okay, yeah, no, I thought that was really cool. And there was one day where it just got timed out nicely because I had ordered the thing from overseas, but it timed out that this thing arrived on a particular day where Ash was feeling really sad in a room during high school or something like that. And she's sitting there just like, oh, I'm just stressing out about all this stuff. And I walked by and like kind of opened the door a little bit and then kept walking. And she's like, what was that? And then there's this whirring noise. And then K9 from Doctor Who, like a remote control one, went into her room and went, Master? And she went, K9! And like grabbed it and was like so happy. And then we had a picture of her with K9 in one arm and our real dog Dusty in the other arm. And she was all happy. I was like, yeah, I'm a good brother.
That was really nice.
The only time I ever did a thing like that.
It was really, really nice though. I remember that really vividly because I was like having a shitty ass day. And K9 is like an immediate antidote to that.
Yeah.
You actually told, I don't know if you were trolling me then, but you told me earlier, he's like, yeah, I found a K9, but like, I can't get it because it's like,
Yeah,
no ship or something. Yeah. I was like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, no, that was stupid expensive. Yeah. They only sell them in Europe, and you gotta like have them shipped over, and then you get a bunch of it done fucking out.
Yeah.
Xbox One or PS4?
What'd you say?
Xbox One or PS4.
PC.
Good game.
I can't afford like really.
I'm getting a PS4. If I have to get a next gen, I'm getting a PS4 because of the indies.
Yeah, we're not, the house that I live in, we're gonna get one, but not at launch. And
The
probably
Xbox
not
watches
until,
you
like,
masturbate.
PS5 comes out anyway. Not until it's mandatory.
Yeah. Whichever PS5 comes out first, I'll probably just make it focus for that.
Yeah. It was fun. It was really fun. I don't know. Where we realized that like we're really bad. Like we need to be better about like forward thinking because there was other shit that we probably had to do this week.
Yeah.
That we didn't.
We timed this poorly because we just got back from. I got a day in Dallas after coming back from a week straight of filming Ash playing, and then day at home, and then got on the plane and came here, and I was just like, I'm not at 100%. I don't think.
Yeah, I've been traveling for like 3 weeks straight. So.
Yeah, no, maybe it'll sort of depend on what our schedules look like next year.
Yeah. But we really liked it here. You guys are really nice.
Yeah, it's really chill.
Yeah, it's super chill.
We got to see people cosplay, so that was fucking cool.
This is the most adorable being puppy cat thing also.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Chinese engagement room? They were cosplaying as
No.
characters.
No.
They're really good.
Are they around today?
I haven't seen them today. I saw them yesterday.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't see
no,
them.
we didn't see them.
I have pictures.
Oh,
Okay.
sweet.
We saw tiny Tina at PAX this year, who was like,
She's a little girl,
she was a
yeah.
little girl, she was like 7 or 8,
Yeah.
and she was super chill, and Ash was like, oh my god, it's Tiny Tina, take a picture of me, and just freaking out, and the girl was like, okay.
Yeah, when I was like, I went up to her and I was like, oh my god, can I take a picture with you? And she's like, I know who you are. It's like literally that, like, I know who you are. And I was like, oh, no! And I was like freaking out, and the picture's me like, she's like,
Let me see that picture.
the most badass little girl in the world.
I might have a picture.
Acting like her.
Huh?
She could have been acting.
Yeah, her mom was there and she was like, she's freaking out. You can't tell, but she's freaking out. And I was like, well, she looks like badass and super stoic, so I had no idea. But yeah, she was adorable. And there's actually, I think, was it Mike Tina tweeting that? I think there was like actually a baby dressed as a tiny
No, that's, I
Tina.
think that was actually for show. Yeah, this is a picture of the little Tiny Tina. I don't know if you can tell.
No, I can't
No.
see. May I come up?
Yeah, you can come up and look at it. It's just a stoic-looking little girl and then my stupid, excited sister.
So cute.
Haven't seen a tiny Tina.
Tiny Tina.
Standing. It's a child in this.
There's a tiny little girl, and then also some person my sister's next to me. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah.
I imagine it's been kind of hard, but have you had a chance to see any of the main event shows this weekend, or are you
No,
just
we
been
haven't actually
running around?
Yeah, I really wanted to go to the Final Fantasy Ball, but we were getting dinner with Sherry and Dante and those guys. And I was like, oh cool, we'll get back in time for the Final Fantasy Ball, and then they're like, no, you will not. No, you will not. It ended, and I was like, God damn it. I want to see people dressed like Eris.
We missed having you.
No, I'm not. I really did want
You
to.
could have been in
How
time for Summer
interactive.
US.
It was 4 hours.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Did it go well?
What?
Did it go well?
Yes, it went really well.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the YouTube. Somebody told me it was gonna go up on YouTube. I'll watch that.
Yeah. A lot of the shows are all on YouTube, so you can check them out there.
Super
That's
cool.
awesome.
Anybody else?
Questions? Yeah.
Ash, can I have a hug?
Yes.
Yay! If Anthony feels left out, he can have a hug too.
Okay. I seldom feel left out. Yay. That's so sad.
My life is complete.
You put me in a very bad life.
Yeah. So one of the first episodes I saw of you guys was the Bioshock episode, way back in season 1.
Right.
And it was one of the best things I'd ever seen because I'd never played the game, but I just knew the Would You Kindly. How long did it take you to memorize that whole spiel?
There were a fair amount of takes you fucking about.
Yeah, there were. That was like one of the very, very first ones we did too. So.
It was one of the very first ones we used to like. I used to say acting because you were acting all your life and shit, but like they were like.
Well, like,
I remember there were reads where you were like, the read was like, the line was like, "Would you kindly?" Powerful phrase, a familiar phrase, like sort of like that what's the word I'm looking for?
Intonation?
Yeah, the
Inflection?
intonation. Yeah, that like sort of implying sort of way of saying a familiar phrase, like you should know what that means. And there's a I think it's in the outtakes of season 1 on the DVD, but it's just like a powerful phrase. A familiar phrase.
I think I thought that would be funny.
Then you start laughing.
Yeah. The difficult thing about early hop actually was that like we laughed too much.
Yeah.
We were really bad at keeping straight faces.
Yeah, when you were like doing the super soaker, like
Pumping.
that was really hard because you were like, ha!
But yeah, there are a fair amount of takes of me totally fucking that speech up. I don't know where all that is. It's probably lost forever.
I think it's all in the season 1 DVD.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. I know that like the original files of like those episodes of season 1 is like totally gone though because they were under like dinosaur of a computer and we never thought to transfer them over because of that. So yeah.
How much fun did you guys have when Volition sent you the penetrator?
Oh man, that was the coolest thing ever. My God.
We were really close to being able to keep it forever too. I didn't know until after the fact, but we sent it back because we were being nice, and then I talked to a guy from Volition. He's like, "Oh yeah, we didn't know you had that.
Yeah.
We forgot. You could have just kept it forever." And I was like, "God fucking damn it!"
I know I felt bad. I didn't want to be like take advantage of their kindness or
I'm
whatever.
sure that
you know?
thing's like a couple $100, if not $1,000.
Yeah, so I like
That's
emailed,
custom made.
like they like sent it to us and they're like, just keep the box so you can send it back, and it was like radio silence, and I was like, we should probably ask them to put it back. But yeah, that was the coolest thing ever because I was at GDC and I just ran into their then community manager, and he was like, hey, we have an actual life-size like version of the dildo bat if you want to use it, and I was like, yes, what? And then I thought he was just like lying or like wouldn't remember or something, and then he like followed up with me and he was like, I will send it to you now with your address, and I was like, what? So when it was sent to Justin's house at the time, the first thing he did was ran around and tried to hit his roommates with it, which it was actually really, really heavy.
It's really heavy. Yeah.
It was
It's
like
way
actually
heavier than you think
dangerous.
because it's all solid rubber. Like it's just solid, really, really, really fucking heavy rubber. So when you do this, like your arm goes with it because it's so heavy and it's flopping around. Like it moves you.
Yeah.
And in here. But yeah, we've got, without getting into too specific details, there is going to be some news coming from Volition about Saints Row that you are going to go for like an hour. And then you remember me saying this and be like, oh, that's what that idiot was talking about. Some cool things are approaching.
Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you choose what games you're going to do videos on? Like one of the first ones I saw was the Persona one, and I was like, not a lot of people know about Persona, so I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, I love Persona. So how do you guys choose which videos you want to?
Usually it'll come from, a lot of the ideas for videos will come from us hanging out and just making jokes. Because like we all just naturally really like video games. And we just shoot the shit all the time when we're hanging out and they're just trying to be funny to one another. That's just always been sort of the basis of Ash and I's and all of our high school friends' relationship. So that Persona one in particular came about from us just talking about like, I think I was trying to describe Persona to somebody because I was the only person that played it. And I basically said, like, it's like Pokemon, but like you just do this all the time.
And then just the conversation, when that comes up in a conversation, for everybody laughs, you're like, oh, maybe that would be a good, like, we've had all kinds of conversations that end with, that might be a good health episode. Like, that was just weird enough, or one little aspect of that conversation was kooky enough that maybe we could film an entire episode around it. It's one of the good things about the show being so short, is that no idea is too small to justify an entire episode, because worst case scenario, oh no, 60 seconds of my life were wasted on this one joke.
Sorry. It's LA is 3 hours ahead, not ahead, behind here. So waking up at 9 is like waking up at 6. So I'm kind of sorry.
No, I'm yawning, goddammit!
I'm tired.
Is anybody else ever yawning now? No? Wow.
Dang.
That's not contagious? Wow.
No, it's stronger than I.
Some like
I'm tired a little, but not like I'm tired.
Huh. Alright. Stronger men than us.
Yeah. Yes. Or was that you pumping it?
It could be both.
Okay.
Like, I just remember, this is like a question I just came up with. I remember like the one episode, like when you were reading the comments from game trailers, like one of them, like you, like one guy noticing you with like the shorter hair, and then like, yeah, it was like, I think it was.
Are you asking if I'm a lesbian?
Are you? No, I'm not. No. It was like. Crap! This is really. It's like an episode that you guys did that was like you were showing like what fans did. Like,
yeah.
Oh, the fan service episode.
Yeah, the fan service episode, and then like you were showing like one comment, like just one guy.
Oh, the guy with the face is the biggest dinner plate or whatever. That guy.
Yeah, it was something about a face or a hair. Or something.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that guy anywhere? Like, do you know?
No, he didn't show up again, but we found out that he wasn't actually just being weird. He was quoting a song, so it was a lot sadder after that. Like, oh, we're just like he's being weird. He's saying this weird thing about how her face is really big. That's cool. And just how fucking weird it is. But it turns out now he was just quoting a song.
Yeah. I thought the way that you were ramping up to that, I thought you were going to be like, and I was that man.
He takes off his mask. It was me all along.
What is that one quote that's on? Fuck, was it on the Amazon? The Amazon quote I think we used on one of our DVD covers. So the guy pretending he's from Russia, or maybe he is from Russia.
Oh, Benedict Theodorus?
Yeah, Benedict Theodorus.
Yeah, he basically, there's a guy pretending he's from like Latvia or something like that, and he's basically reviewing Hop with really broken English, saying like, early seasons not so good because man boy, but in later seasons the man boy disappears, seasons become good, or something like that.
I give it 3 out of 4. Like he had
Yeah.
some weird measurement,
Yeah.
like cupcakes or something.
You actually, yeah, were you?
No, I just have a thing where my hand goes up constantly.
Okay.
No. Was there ever been an episode that you finished, you're like, oh man, this is gonna be shite, and it comes out on top, and you're like, oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah, that's most of them. Really, I mean, we don't really know how anybody's reacting. The Game of Thrones episode, Ash was like, and I was too. We're just like, this is it. Like we fucked up. Like we're not good anymore. Nobody's gonna like this. Yeah, we peaked, I guess, last season, or me doing Borderlands. It just sapped all my creativity, and it's just that's it, man. Sorry. Not gonna go home. You jumped the shark, and then shot the shark, and then ate the shark. And then it came out, and I talked to my friends in real life, like Sabbath and Raleigh, and they were like, oh yeah, it's like one of your best episodes. It's one of my favorite episodes. God damn it, I don't know if I believe it anymore. So it's gotten to the point where I just try to not have opinions on my own stuff anymore, just because I can't predict what it's going to be.
So going off that, did you ever have any episodes where you're just like, this fucking book? Like immediately as soon as you filmed it, you're like, this is perfect. We don't want this. Yeah. But we thought
For the baby?
I
don't know. I'm not confident about that.
I mean, I get excited about how they're going to turn out, some of them. Like, I was excited to see how the Cooking Mama one came together, because it's like, I say practical effects as if that's actually a thing.
When in reality, it's camera next to the camera just doing this and dropping a bowl in the thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a special effect!
I was excited because we put a modicum of effort into it, which is embarrassing for me to admit that. Because I was like, ooh, I wonder, because it's all ghosty, and I wonder if people will like it. It's like the most most ridiculous, like, no effort put into it sort of thing. But I don't know if we ever like, yeah, man, it's just gonna. Oh shit! Watch out! Roll onto your butts because this new Hop episode. I don't know if we're gonna call it that.
There's been a couple that I was proud of at the time that I was like, I think this is gonna be good. Like the one that Road Team ended up doing.
Yeah.
After we finished shooting that, because I think Aaron Davis's chemistry was really good. I was like, I think that's gonna be a good one. If Road Team comes through, and I think he will. Because a lot of it was I was playing his voice in my head while we were filming it, and I was like, I can imagine I was gonna say this like it's really funny. Like, but I was like, I don't even know what the train is. I was like, I know what he's gonna say that like.
Yeah.
And then when we got the audio back from him, that's exactly what he said it like. So I actually felt pretty good about that one.
Yeah.
So you got one. We had one episode that we felt good about. It was 5 years of doing this.
Have you ever cosplayed before? And if you did, what were the characters you cosplayed as?
Yeah, we cosplayed the last few passes.
We cosplayed as the Firefly characters first.
Oh yeah.
I was
Simon.
over Anthony Simon.
We were the worst in our group by far.
Yeah, awful.
Ash was like, I'll get a dress. I was like, I'll get a vest. And then our friend Grant dressed up as a perfect Mel. My wife Ashley Davis dressed up as a perfect Kaylee.
Yeah.
Like down to the little patches on her shit.
Justin was a great Jane. Tamara crocheted him a hat, the Jane hat. Dad was the worst.
Oh, Dad was the worst, yeah. Because we were like, you'll be washed. All you have to do, this is all you have to do, is just show up in a Hawaiian shirt. That's all you have to do and you'll be washed. He goes, okay, and then shows up in just a shirt. He's like, this is a Hawaiian shirt. We're like, no, it's not. Have you been? Do you know what Hawaii is? Like, it was just like a green shirt. He's like, well, it's got like leaves on it. I'm like, are you fucking stupid?
So that was our first cosplay. Then we did.
Horrible Breaking Bad.
Oh, we did horrible Breaking Bad because again, Blake was the only good one because she shaved her head
And got a goatee.
and got a
She's
goatee and
Heisenberg.
she was Heisenberg, and then the rest of us were just in beanies because Badger, Skinny Pete, Jesse.
I was Jesse, which if it had just been me and Davis, it actually would have been a good cosplay because he would immediately know who I was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Walter, that's Jesse. But I was Jesse, and you were Skinny Pete, and Tamara was Badger. But they're just stoners, so they all look the same. They just had like snow caps on and like baggy fucking jackets, so it didn't look like anything.
Yeah.
And then we had a friend who was Mike, which was he just got a leather jacket and a bald cap, so he didn't read his Mike at all. And then Grant,
Justin was an okay guess.
Justin was an okay guess, but his glasses were weird. That one right.
And then was Grant Skyler?
No, Grant was Saul. But he had too much hair, so he didn't look like Saul. He just looked like a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of really weird-looking motherfuckers, and then clearly Walter White.
Oh, but before that we did Harvest Moon, and that was great.
Oh, we did a really good Harvest.
Yeah. So I was Jack. Anthony was Maria. Davis was my dog. It's a really cute picture of us together. That I love. I'm like scratching Davis's head. And she's like,
Yeah, it was all gender swapped Harvest Moon stuff, where Ash was the farmer and we were all her suitors. Let me see if I probably don't, but...
You still have that soccer costume?
Soccer?
The soccer
Soccer.
No, I think I lost that one.
Yeah, I think that's gone.
I only ever wore it for that one thing.
You should wear it next year if you find it.
I will do no such thing.
Yeah, it was
Damn.
Harvest Moon, and then horrible Breaking Bad, and then this last year we did Spelunky actually, which turned out really well.
I was horrible, but everybody else was pretty good.
You were bad.
I'm not very good at all. So I ever shoot this crazy ass picture of Davis? Like something happened with the frame rates of her eyes.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out.
But yeah, I think the Harvest Moon one was probably our most successful one, and it was the one that I was happiest about doing Harvest Moon. Although I think I liked the way that our Spelunky ones turned out because I ended up doing just like
Your Spelunky was really good.
yeah, it was fun because I didn't do like a male Spelunky. I was just like I'm just gonna do like a lady Spelunky, like main character, and then it turning out pretty well. I think.
Yeah, you look like a really cool like female, not like full on gender swap, just like a female cool Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah, and Davis was the bad. She was like, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's actually footage of that Spelunky cosplay on the PAX
Twitch stream. Yeah.
From the hotel we did there actually. We did Spelunky live.
I think it might have come out after the episode.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, we just talked for a really long time about something. Yeah.
I just remember the penguin costume that Ashley Davis wore.
Yeah.
Did she have any reserves about the swearing and doing the gun? The you led motherfucker.
No, she loved it all. She thought that was funny.
Okay.
Yeah, that was her idea, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she wrote that.
Because that was Once Upon a Pixel.
Yeah, that was Once Upon a Pixel.
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
So-
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, damn it. Where'd that costume go?
It was just too much trouble going around, so we destroyed it and left it somewhere.
sad.
So I think it was just this big dome of chicken where you couldn't make it any smaller. You couldn't like it just wouldn't fit anywhere. So it was just in my room like the really long time. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, we're not gonna do fucking trainees again. So whatever. And she could just always make it here.
Yeah, Davis is insanely talented with that stuff and other things, but yeah. She we needed these paper mache heads, like animal heads for these characters that we were doing for a recent episode. And she'd never fucking done paper mache before. She's like, I think this will work. And then it was like perfect.
Well, they need to be spherical. Like, how can you possibly, like, there's nothing, we don't have any globe in or anything. And if there was a globe, you'd have to, like, break it to get the globe out. So what are you going to do? So she got inflatable balls from Target and paper mache around the ball. And when, after the paper mache hardened, she just popped the ball and removed it. And it was just this perfectly spherical paper mache head that she made. Jesus, that's smart.
This is the best.
Yeah.
Me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Where'd you get that story? It's like
online.
No, really.
Good answer.
Yeah, it's not on the official Borderlands store because it's cool, and we have like one cool shirt on the actual Gearbox store. It was for one of those things that's like kind of like Etsy or whatever. It was a bunch of people like, was it Redbubble? Was that a thing? Is that, yeah. Okay, I think that's where I got it. Was Redbubble.
Is it like T-Fury where it's like only limited amount of time, or could they?
I actually don't know.
I just want to share that I came across like this t-shirt I found, and it was like all the ball hunters that were drawn in the style of like gorillas, and it looked really cool.
Oh yeah, I've seen it in the show.
Oh,
okay. It's like a Gorillas album cover.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Has there been a part where you wrote, like, didn't make the final cut where Contra actually got his what he wanted?
No.
Thanks.
I very intentionally don't ever want him to get what he wants. He's Charlie Brown. Like that was the idea. Was like I don't like so like
I got a rock.
I came to Borderlands 2. I never read Borderlands 1, and one of the things that baffled me was that anybody likes Claptrap. Like I fucking hate Claptrap. So when it came time to write him, I was like, okay, I just need to come up with something that would hopefully make someone like me feel sorry for him. So I was like, okay, I'll just make him Charlie Brown and have the world keep kicking sand in his face and have him keep going, okay, I guess. Like, that's why the birthday party mission's there. That's why he can't ever get up the stairs. Like, that's the stairs for him, I think they're going to be like Lucy and the Ball.
Apparently, well, through some lost audio files, Claptrap did get legs, but it was too late to take down Jack.
Oh, yeah. No, we definitely recorded, I forgot about that, yeah. We recorded some dialogue where if we had time, we didn't end up having time to do this because it would have been a lot of work, but the idea was that he was going to hate those stairs really badly, and then after the credits, after you killed Jack, there would be this cutscene where you'd hear this like, and then suddenly Claptrap would come over the horizon, having made a bunch of legs for himself out of all the dead loaders that you killed on the way up there. And he'd be like, it's time to die, handsome Jack, and we'd come up and you would just finish killing them, and you'd be like, God fucking damn it, and then like,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Was the dialogue for Krieg just another excuse to write poop jokes?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Darn.
We have 10 more minutes. Yes.
Are you doing any voice work we don't know about?
Let me. Okay. It sucks because like half of the stuff that I've done recently either hasn't been announced, so I can't talk about it, or it might not happen. So, like the game might not come out, or whatever might not come out ever. So, the only things that I can tell you for sure that I've been in that you can view, and I won't get in trouble for saying, are that I'm Tiny Tina, I'm Reed in Aliens Colonial Marines, which I'm sure all of you have played and loved. And, I apologize.
That good, huh? You say good things, just think of it as, good game.
I'm in Awesome Office Island, and there are a couple of like shorts that I did. Anthony's in one, the Tooth Fairy thing.
Oh yeah.
We did a YouTube collaboration with this. I think is he Swedish? He's something like that. And thank you. He's an animator, and all of his, I can't remember his background, but all of his stuff is in like language, so he wants to translate it all and put it on his English channel. And we dubbed one of his videos called The Tooth Fairy, and we're both in it. And
The bedwedding.
The bedwedding fairy? Hug the bedwedding fairy. Maybe you can watch it. And then
it's pretty like even if our version isn't good, like the cartoon itself is really good.
It's
You
fun,
can just
yeah.
watch the original subtitle version.
yeah. And our friends Justin and Ian do a show on the machinima of Minecraft called Seedlings, which it's kind of like a kids show, and you can watch it on YouTube or Xbox, like on GTF or whatever. They did a collaboration with this guy named Sunday. I don't know, he's a huge Minecraft guy, but I was like the baby creepers in that in one of their collaborations. So I literally think those are the only things that I can talk about. I wish I could talk about more, but I kind of don't know what they're going to happen or if I would get in trouble for something. But that is my currently to date the voice acting that you can observe me being in. And more play. But that's that's like a theatrical stuff. Yeah.
Is there any way, shape, or form you would see Anthony Saves the World season 2?
It took so much time to do it, and so few people liked it, and so few people watched it. That I was like, I would. It just took so much time.
You let me Borderlands 2?
What?
You let me Borderlands 2?
And let me Borderlands 2. No. You have a mask.
I have the first one.
Oh, you've never played Borderlands 2?
No,
I am so sorry.
It's so good.
The Game of the Year edition is coming out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's true.
Yeah.
Game of the Year. So they have a lot like all the DLC and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
They'll have all the campaign DLCs, I think, and Days and Free.
You know what will be out?
I don't know. Sometime soon. Sometime. By Christmas. I'm trying to get it by Christmas for obvious reasons.
I thought there was more deals.
There also is more DLC. We've got the Headhunter thingies. That's coming out, like little micro DLCs that are like combat and a boss fight, and one of those has Torg in it, it's about Thanksgiving, one of them has CK behind, it's about Halloween. There'll be plenty of Borderlandsy things for you to do in the coming months.
Is there any word on a Borderlands 3?
So usually when somebody asks, like somebody from like Valve or whatever, like, "Hey, you guys working on Half-Life 3?" They go, "Oh, we can't say anything about that," or "Oh, we're not working on it," and they're usually lying. With 100% honesty, I can say that currently no one is working on Borderlands 3. There's some stuff we're working on, a couple of new IPs that we haven't announced yet at Gearbox for the next-gen systems and PC. And then some other stuff, but there's no, like, Borderlands 3 currently being worked on yet.
How the guy would be like.
That'll be the biggest problem with Borderlands 3 is figuring out how the cover art works. Where he's doing this, and then somebody else is like coming up from behind his feet, like making a weird gun. 4 will be really easy because it'll be a dude and the 4 characters doing that with a dude. But 3, I don't know how that's going to work.
Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
It's not too much of a spoiler. Would you guys be able to share some of the game, episodes or games you might be covering in the next episodes that you're...
Or the next
the next season? Let's see.
Cookie Clicker, Grand Theft Auto 5.
Nice.
Banjo-Kazooie?
Nice.
That one's actually going to be...
Banjo 3, they should make that.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie will actually be pretty cool. Usually, because like Cookie Clicker and GTA 5 are like not going to be cool. Like it's just dialogue around those things. But Banjo-Kazooie is actually like the whole thing.
Yeah, hopefully it turns out well.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
That's really cool.
Some of the weirdest acting I've ever had.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Let's see. Animal Crossing New Leaf.
That one's actually pretty.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm pretty excited about that one.
I'm excited to see how they do that. What are the other ones that we liked? None of them.
Gone Home.
Gone Home. Scale. We're literally just telling you what it is.
Most of them won't mean much to you because, like, I'll say, like, we're having a ghost. It's like, okay. A, that game's not out. B, that tells me nothing about what the episode's going to be like. C, I probably have heard of that game.
I feel like we had another, like, cat concept. That was kind of like the
Well, we had the Pokemon one, Square Company. That one I think we really like.
Oh, okay. That's yeah.
Well, then following that thread of questioning, I guess that sounds like kind of okay. Have you guys ever played a niche of Beta Pigs? Or not Beta Pigs?
I was thinking, that's a really fun thing. You're just running away from Fidel Castro. Like.
I played the beginning of Machine for Pigs, and I got. So I stopped and I never went back to it. But it's not scary. It's actually not scary.
No, Machine for Pigs is not scary at all.
Yeah,
Machine for Pigs has maybe 3 points in the entire game.
And I guess I didn't know going in that's the way that it was.
Did you play the original first?
No, because that was too scary. I needed like a middle ground. Scary.
Yeah. It seems like something we can make a joke out of.
Yeah, we could do something.
Pretty easily too, because the whole point of animation is like don't look at the thing that's trying to kill you. So like, looking at your show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. Have you ever thought about doing Halloween episodes? Like
Halloween?
Like with Slender Man or
we've only ever done Christmas ones.
Yeah.
It feels like that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Shit. 5 years doing this never once occurred to us. And you can't even use the excuse like, oh, we don't schedule things because we always schedule Christmas. So what the fuck? And we always schedule like best games of last year's Christmas.
I know we could schedule in July Halloween episodes.
Oh, that's what it is. It's because we usually film around July and we're like, I don't want to do anything soon. Like, we just want to push everything off, so.
Did you have a question, James?
No.
He was talking because we had 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying we have 2 minutes, so one more question. No question? Okay, go for it.
It's more of a comment, but like when you did the butt awards, I feel like you did it backwards because I feel like butts are good and not bad.
That is.
Poop comes out of butts.
Yeah. Yeah, you just ruined it.
Yes.
Share my philosophy on butts.
Yes.
That's all I can do.
How do you like to make 4 by yourself?
I left that episode. I didn't like Connect 4 by yourself.
She's doing encyclopedic knowledge of these.
I don't know how.
By winning?
Yeah.
You win and lose every time. That's what life.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's it.
We have a signing in half an
In
hour.
half an hour. But other than that, this is our last panel, so thank you everybody for coming.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you guys for watching.